Hello and welcome to the Wayward Skein. This is episode 43. Sorry there wasn't an episode last week, but I was pretty wiped out from New Hampshire sheep and wool. And then driving back at crazy o'clock in the morning so that I could make it to my aunt's house for Mother's Day brunch, and I was just exhausted. So there was no episode, sorry. And I'm sorry, I'm recording on my bed again. I'm going to try to get a tripod so that you don't get the bouncing around every time I move or breathe or whatever. But for now, it's what I've got. Just basically because my recording setup in the living room has been co-opted by my son. And I'm still working on getting my bedroom organized so that I can do it in here. I plan on bringing a chair in here and recording in my fiber corner over there so that it's a little bit more viewer friendly. So today is Monday. That was brilliant. May 20th. The laptop's like way over there. So I can't actually see what it says on the screen, but it's May 20th. It is Victoria Day, or as it's known in Quebec, weirdly enough, Patriots Day. Not sure. I think that's a dig at the rest of Canada, but I'm not sure. Anyway, yeah, hopefully I won't be living here too much longer. For those of you who like Quebec and like living here, more power to you. I am very much looking forward to going back to Ontario. So, as I mentioned last weekend, I was at New Hampshire Sheep and Wool. I drove down on the Friday. I was meeting up with Sarah, the Canadian knitter, True Canuck Girl, who is the Canadian Knitter podcast and the Steeped in Books booktube channel. She had rented a motel in Nashua, New Hampshire, and we were staying at the Motel 6 out there, which clean. It's clean. It wasn't that bad. The beds were comfortable. The neighbors were a little loud, but that's fine. We were right off the interstate. It was no big deal. The first night I didn't get a lot of sleep because there was somebody downstairs playing really loud music and then really loud TV like all night. But the second night I slept like a baby, no problems at all. So it wasn't a bad place to stay. It was affordable, which is a plus. And there was a lot of there was some really good breakfast places like right around where we were, and I really enjoyed it. So thank you, Sarah, for hosting. It was pretty awesome to room with you, and I had a good time, so thank you. So we went to the festival on the Saturday. We were there 10 minutes after it opened, and there wasn't a huge lineup to get in, but it was really cold out at that point. I think it was maybe 10 degrees, maybe. That's Canadian, not American. American, that'd be about 45-ish, 50-ish. I'm not sure. I don't do well with the lower temperatures. But anyway, so the Friday night we had gone out for dinner. Where did we go? Oh, we went to Panera. And then we saw a Savers, which is the equivalent of Value Village in Canada. It's the same, I think it's the same parent company. And they have pretty much the same layout and the same system. So we wanted to go to Savers to look at books. And I've, of course, forgotten all the books I bought in the living room. Duh. I bought volumes 3 through 8 of the Anne of Green Gables series. I already had 1 and 2, so I was really happy to be able to complete the series all in one shot. And I also bought the huge brick Martha Stewart cookbook. I got it for $4. It was a huge steal, and I'm super happy I got it. So that's what I got at Savers. We did we do any more? No, we were going to do Barnes & Noble, but then we saw the Savers across the street and we were like, discount books? Full price books. Discount books? Win. So that's how we ended up at Savers instead of Barnes & Noble. Sarah had also done some book stashing of her own during the day. She had been hanging out with a friend of hers who is also a big booktuber. His name is Steve, I've forgotten his last name. So anyway, he's a big booktuber. I will get the name from her and hopefully add it to the show notes. So Saturday we went to the festival. I will have a lot of pictures to share with you. I took a lot of animal pictures. Oops. I did that thing where the monitor died and I redid it. Sorry about that. So it tends to glitch when I do that. I know I had said I was going to try to record an episode while I was there. It just didn't happen. We weren't there long enough. And the Saturday evening after the festival, we actually went back to Christy and Matt of Fiber Stash's Airbnb to hang out with them. Jen of the Uncreative Crafter podcast and Mandy of Mandy Pinecone Crafts podcast. We hung out with them all evening and only came back to the hotel to sleep and then left stupid early the next morning. So there was less opportunity to record than I would have liked, but that's what happens when you do a quick in and out. I think we were there for I don't even think I was there for a whole 48 hours because no, I wasn't. I was there for about 36 hours. I arrived there at about 5 p.m. on Friday night, and I was out of there at 5 o'clock in the morning on Sunday. It was a crazy weekend, and it was a lot of fun. So I do have a lot of animal pictures I will share with you guys. I've got a little bit of video of the most hilarious sheep I've ever seen. It was funny. Well, you'll see it in the video, but all these sheep, they're doing the sheep showing outside with the 4-H kids and stuff, and all these sheep are going meh, 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 and then you've got this big brown one that comes out and goes brr. Rob was like, leave it to you to find the only sheep in the place that sounds like a cow. So it really does. I'll play that video for you later. Hopefully you'll be able to hear something because it was also really, really windy. But I got a lot of pictures for you guys. So mostly of animals, not so much of stuff. Sorry. So there was stash. I did buy some stuff. First thing I picked up was this. Isn't it gorgeous? Isn't it awesome? It's a bar of soap. It's a little mini bar of soap. I didn't buy a big one because I can't use it anyway. It's scented. I can't use it, but my kids will use it. So this is called Pride Power. And the soap maker is Grace and Miss Mouse Soaps. And it's graceandmissmousesoaps.com is their website. They are from Vermont. They're actually from Bellows Falls, Vermont. And it's pretty cool soap. Although now, I couldn't smell it at the time. But at the time I was in a barn that smelled like sheep. So I couldn't smell it at the time, but now it's really, really strong. So my kids will be using this and I will not. But that was my first purchase. I didn't buy much. I honestly didn't. I didn't buy much at all. I did get this really cool hammered necklace. Hammered wire. It is from Leslie Wind on Etsy. So it's LESLIEWIND is her shop. She does, I don't know what to call these. I don't remember what they're called. Instead of buttons, you have two pieces and a wire that goes between them. She does necklaces, she does pendants, she does bracelets, she does all kinds of stuff. And she made this lovely thing. And I haven't worn it yet because I've been waiting to show it to you guys, but I thought it was really pretty. Hoping you guys can see it fairly well. I know there's no dark background here. Oh, well, maybe the card would serve as background. If I could coordinate my hands together. Not so much. Anyway, so I got this, and the only other thing I bought at the festival, I bought this ginormous whoopie pie. It was the size of my face. And they are actually award-winning whoopie pies. They actually won first place at the Worldwide Whoopie Pie Competition. I didn't know there was such a thing. The company is called To the Queen's Taste. She calls them pastries to read English mysteries by. They ship anywhere, and they're in Newton, Massachusetts. It's Dina Baker. How ironic is that? So this is her business card. Sorry, I do not have a whoopie pie to show you because it was a week ago and we ate it. It really was delicious though. It was based on a devil dogs recipe. Rob's best friend Steve loves devil dogs. He's from New Jersey and he loves devil dogs. And had that clicked at the time, I would have bought one for him. Although he wouldn't have gotten it for weeks. I would have had to freeze it. Sorry, I'm going to grab my tea. It's not really tea. Oh my God, it's spicy. It's so good. I think I may have to make that in a jar next time to get more water because wow, it's strong. Woo! This is something I bought at the Asian grocery here in the city. It's honey ginger drink. It is amazing, but very strong. So I think I'm going to make it in a quart jar next time and portion it out. Whew, it's ginger. Oh, the only other thing, sorry, I didn't buy this. This was made for me. So Mandy of Mandy Pinecone Crafts made us all these little bags that say Unicorn Squad on them, and they're so cute and they're so perfect, and they're made of flannel, so they're nice and fluffy. And there's a little pocket on the front. I had not yet realized until now that it was a pocket. And she also gave me this big pile of minis. That's not all of them. Where's the other? Anyway, the big pile of minis to add to my blanket. And I think those are all fiber stash, she said. So I'm super excited about that. I'm going to get my bag out of there. I was carrying extra plastic bags in case anybody needed them. So, sorry, my hair got tangled up in this. I'm actually going to, this is my only stash. This is the only yarn I bought. And it's coming out a little bit darker than it is. It's a little more denim than this. Well, no, I suppose that's pretty accurate. It's pretty close to that. So this is, and I had the label a second ago. There we go. It is, of course, Fiber Stash Dye Works. It is their Strong Toes sock yarn, which is 80 merino 20 nylon. And this is the ink colorway. I had actually been looking at the, I don't remember the name of it now, but it had something to do with Hellmouth. That blue that I was looking at, but Rob found it a little too purple for him. And it was a tweed, and they didn't have it in the Strong Toes. And he finally admitted to me that he wasn't particularly fond of his tweed socks. He doesn't like the little nippy bits. So I got ink instead, and I immediately cast on and then didn't touch again a sock for Rob. So I've only got about 7 or 8 rows done here. I'm a little ashamed that I didn't touch it again because, I mean, I've made a start on a sock and then I just didn't knit for the rest of the week. But I did get a start on a sock. I had no knitting. I had no portable knitting. Everything I had was chart-based. So I had to come up with something a little bit easier. So this is Rob's new sock. We'll jump into knitting content now because, oh, I do have one more thing that I got at the festival to show you guys. Jen loves me. This is from Jen, the Uncreative Crafter. This is a tee that she gets at Ocean something or other. It's a discount store, similar to Giant Tiger here or and Lots or Big Lots or places like that. So she brought me a whole bunch of boxes of this, and I was very excited. Because this is my favorite tea. It's Strawberry Vanilla Fool by London Fruit and Herb Company. It's hard to get here. I could get it from Amazon. It would cost me $20 a box. She got these for 2. So she brought me a bunch of boxes of this, and I'm super happy because now I probably have a lifetime supply of this. And I love it. So that's that. Fine, I'll show my tote bag that I bought. I also bought a Trader Joe's bag because I went to Trader Joe's on the way down. I stopped in Burlington, and I felt really stupid, right? Because I looked on the Trader Joe's website to see where the closest locations were. And it showed me that the closest location to where we were staying was in Massachusetts, which meant I had to overshoot by about an hour. I didn't want to do that, so I stopped in Burlington. As I was leaving Sunday morning, I get on the highway, not 2 miles from the hotel. There's a Trader Joe's. Really, Trader Joe's website? Couldn't tell me about that one? No, apparently they couldn't. So now we'll go on to knitting because that's the extent of what I picked up. So I started a sock. It is my standard 3x2 rib that Rob prefers. It is a lot more tonal than it's showing up. I hope, yeah, there you can see it a little bit better. But it's a lot more tonal than it shows up from from a distance. It's really denim-y. Like, it really makes me think of an old pair of jeans because it really has all the tones that you would see in a pair of jeans. You see here, there's a little faded spot. So I'm really enjoying it. It's beautiful to knit with, as Christy's yarn always is. And I'm not just saying that because she fed us on Saturday night. We had so much fun. Oh, it was a blast. So I keep finding here. So I started, it's a sock recipe, A Good Plain Sock by Stephanie Pearl McPhee. Sorry, it's really hot in here. I closed my window the other day because it was like -2 at night. But now I'm super hot and I'm suffocating, and so I'm going to tie my hair back. I did cut my hair while I was there. Sarah and I were at dinner, and I was like, you know, I've been wanting to cut my hair for quite some time. And she's like, you should. And I'm like, let's go to Walgreens. And I bought a pair of barber scissors at Walgreens, and I cut my hair in the motel room. Whoever emptied that trash can got a big surprise. Because I measured it after I cut it off, and I cut off a full 12 inches. So, yeah, it's just shoulder length, and it feels really good. I wish it would behave itself, though, because my hair is super curly. An hour after I come out of the shower, I look like a French poodle. Like, I've got all these corkscrew curls everywhere. And then, once my hair is completely dry, they're gone. I don't know. It's very frustrating because I can't get my hair to do what I want it to do. And, yeah. So, anyway. Sorry. More tangents than... It's like a road trip with Rob. More detours than anything else. So this is Sock Recipe, A Good Plain Sock by Stephanie Pearl McPhee. This is, well, I already told you what the yarn is, and I do it on 2.5 millimeter needles, which is a US 1.5. I actually bought these carbons at the festival because I literally brought nothing to knit. I had brought my scarf, but it was chart-based, and I wasn't going to bring it to the festival with me. I did knit on it in the hotel room, but yeah. Oh, and I didn't bring my books in here either. Damn it! Okay, let's look up really quickly who wrote the books. So, Google. And it would be really nice if I could stick to one subject. So let's do that. So there was the sock, and I have also met my goal for the scarf. That's the back. This is the front. You guys are looking at the front. So there's the School at Play scarf with all little fishies across it. You can't see that the edges are actually wavy. Sorry, it's really hard to see until I block it, but the edges are wavy as well. So it is the School at Play scarf by Sharon Winsauer. It is from the 101 Sock Yarn, Sock Yarn One Skein Wonders. It's from this book. And it's a really, really cool pattern. I'll just show it to you, sort of. You can't really see it all that well, but... So I don't give away the chart. Google Books. Why would you just jump right into the book like that? So I am knitting that, and I am, according to the pattern, I am 2/3 of the way through, but this looks awfully short, and I have a lot of yarn left. So I think I may just knit until I've got like 10 or 5 grams left. Just enough to add to the blanket, but this is Tanis Fiber Arts Blue Label. Sorry, I've got this huge long string hanging off there for some reason. So this is Tanis Fiber Arts Blue Label. It is, I think it's an 80-20 or maybe a 75-25. I'm not sure, but it is lovely to knit with. It's so soft and so squishy and so purple, and I love it. And it is the lilac colorway. I don't know if you're going to be able to tell that there's all these little bits of purple and pink, and it's showing up a lot grayer than it actually is for some reason. I'm not sure why, but it's a little more purple than that. So I worked on that, and my goal is to finish that by the end of June. I'm not going to say by next weekend because I don't think that's going to happen. It's the 20th, and I don't think I'm going to finish it by next weekend, but I'm going to try and finish it by the 1st of June. That's only 10 days. I may give myself to the middle of June, but I really want to get back to working on my chuppah. This was sort of a palette cleanser, and so anyway, I don't know what would happen. I don't know what would happen if I just kept recording when the screen goes off. I don't know what would happen. As I said, I'm trying to organize myself so that I have a permanent sort of arrangement and can actually record without having to unplug the laptop. So I did get quite a bit of reading done in the last few weeks. I did finish... Sorry, I'll see if Michelle is over here. Michelle is over here. Pardon me. So I finished Becoming by Michelle Obama. It was fabulous. So fabulous. I love her so much more now. So this was so cool. I really enjoyed reading it. A friend of mine got to meet her. Shannon, who is Minerva Turkey, got to meet her last week. I'm so envious. So it was a very, very good book. I really recommend reading it. She has a very particular style that I very much enjoyed. Sorry, I'm going to try and show you. Oh, well, that's not useful. Can I not see the whole picture? I guess that's close. So the other book I read and finished, oh, this is not showing up well, is The Birth House by Amy McKay. It was a novel based on historical, like it's sort of a historical fiction. It's based on diaries from a midwife from Nova Scotia in the war period, Second World War. So it was all about the diaries of the midwife and how she became a midwife and so on and so forth and the things she dealt with. So it's a historical fiction. The author actually lives in the house she's writing about. It used to be a midwife's home where women would come to give birth to their babies. And it was quite a good story. I really, really enjoyed it. Obviously, I read it in less than a week. So I really enjoyed that. And currently, I seem to have gone nuts with the books. I've been reading on the bus instead of knitting on the bus, so maybe that's a big part of why I'm getting more reading done. The thing I'm reading right now is Elevation by Stephen King. Ooh, look at that. It's metallic. I hadn't noticed that the background was metallic. So I'm reading Elevation by Stephen King. It's a very, very short book. It only has 150 pages. So it's a teeny little hardcover book. I'm very much enjoying it. It's every bit as good as everything else Stephen King has put out. He's one of my favorite authors. I've been reading him since I was 12 or 13. And I would read a laundry list if he wrote it. So I really love Stephen King. I'm very much enjoying this book. It's very reminiscent of, crap, I don't remember now. It was a short story, I think. It was the guy who had stomach cancer. And anyway, it's a little bit reminiscent of that story, but also a little bit reminiscent of Thinner. It's got elements of a bunch of his different stories, but I'm really enjoying it so far. So that's what I'm reading now. On screen, there's been so much. I think I told you guys I finished Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I started watching Quantum Leap because this was one of my favorite shows when I was a kid. I loved watching it, and I was like, I don't really remember much about Quantum Leap. Let's watch the whole thing. So that's what I'm doing. And it was funny because we were talking about Games of Thrones spoilers at work on Friday, and because people have been... I haven't read any Endgame spoilers from Marvel, the Avengers Endgame. I haven't read any spoilers. I got spoiled on one thing from one of the kids at the store, and I just about killed them, but I haven't seen any spoilers online. People have been really good about it. Game of Thrones, on the other hand, holy cow, all I'm reading is spoilers. So I was saying at work on Friday, I said, it's a good thing that I'm not watching Game of Thrones, because holy crap, everything has been spoiled. And I knew that the finale was coming up this weekend, and my coworker Jamie said, don't worry, nobody's going to spoil Quantum Leap. Nobody's talking about that. Somebody spoiled Quantum Leap for me yesterday. Yep. We weren't even talking about it. It was I'm just going to keep recording and see what happens. It was a an online discussion with some people that I don't really know all that well on spoilers and what was going on. And he goes, yeah, like the last episode of Quantum Leap, blah, blah, blah. Horrible finale. Blah, they ruined the whole series. And he describes everything that happens. And I was like, you... I was so mad. So there, Jamie, somebody spoiled Quantum Leap for me. Happy? Only 30 years after the fact. Because Quantum Leap came out in 1989 and it's now 2019. So yeah, it's 30 years later. Huh, look at that. Somebody spoiled it for me. The day after Jamie said, oh, he's going to spoil that for you. So I thought that was pretty funny. And because of the spoilage, I had to take a little break and regroup and calm myself down because I was pretty peeved about having it spoiled for me. So I watched a bunch of movies. I started out with Coco, which absolutely destroyed me. Like, broke me. I was sobbing. It's such a good movie. It's a Disney animated movie. It's about the Day of the Dead. And this young guy who wants to be a musician, and he lives in a family of shoemakers who hate music. So it's all about him trying to get his family to let him become a musician. So it was a very, very good movie. I sobbed like a baby. It was so good. And so I enjoyed it a lot. And then I watched A Wrinkle in Time, which was phenomenal. I don't know if you guys remember, I bought the books last year. I had them delivered to Rob's house. I read them all in like a month and a half. I was so psyched about this series. The whole reason I bought the books was because I wanted to see the movies. And I'd never heard of these books growing up. I was a little deprived when it came to sci-fi and fantasy. It just wasn't what people around me were into. So I was super psyched to see this movie, and I'd been waiting, and I'd been waiting, and I'd been waiting, and then I saw that it was on Netflix, and I was like, oh, yeah, boink. So I watched it, and it was so good. So good. The casting was perfect. Well, I didn't buy Chris Pine as the dad, but they did have to modernize it quite a bit, because the movie was based on science and equipment available and things like that in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. So they had to modernize it quite a bit to make it more contemporary. Chris Pine I had a bit of trouble with. But I think mainly because I tend to still see him as the cocky young James Kirk, and he pretty much still played the cocky young James Kirk in Wonder Woman. He kind of played the same character, so this one was a bit of a departure for him, and I didn't quite pull it off, I didn't think, but I enjoyed the movie. Oprah Winfrey was an inspired bit of casting. That was beautiful. I would have preferred, I don't know, Mindy Kaling bugs me. I don't know if it's her voice or, I don't know, but I don't tend to enjoy things with her in them. I didn't quite like her casting. I think they could have found somebody a little bit better for that. But it didn't take away from the movie all that much. I did find that the sudden switch from speaking only in quotes to speaking normally and never going back to the speaking in quotes, that bothered me. Because it should have gone back to what it was at the beginning. But anyway. So I would highly recommend seeing both those movies. The last one I saw was... I knew I was going to forget this. I just finished watching it too. It's Madagascar 3, something Europe. It was funny. It wasn't as good as the first two. It was funny. But, I mean... And I really enjoyed the voice actors they had this time. They had Bryan Cranston, they had Martin Short, they had a whole bunch of people they had Frances McDormand. And it was fabulous. The voice acting was absolutely on par. It was just perfect. And while the writing was, I mean, what do you expect from the third movie from one of the less successful franchises? Um, I think they should have stopped a few movies ago, but there we are. I enjoyed it, so that's what I've been watching. And that's what I've been reading. That's what I've been knitting. That's pretty much been my last couple of weeks. So things are starting to slow down at work a little bit. My boss is no longer acting in her boss's position. We now have a new big boss, which is kind of awesome. And I'm no longer acting as the big boss's assistant. I am now just me. And my boss is just her. So that's been a nice change. It's still a little hectic, but we're working on it. So I think I will go and enjoy the very nice weather outside. It's really, really nice out. And I think I will open my bedroom window again because it's super hot in here. And I will bid you all a fond farewell until next week and ask you once again to please be kind to one another. Have a great week. Bye. I just wanted you guys to be able to hear these sheep. Those are the ones with the low-pitched voices right there. That kind of sound like cows. And then they're showing the sheep over here. There's an awful lot of sheep yelling going on.